Okay, so here, first of all, how to get Linux VM. Okay, so one thing I taught you how to get Linux VM in your laptop. Okay, that means now you have a Linux VM in your laptop that is there. Now, how to get Linux VM in your laptop? You know that using VirtualBox. How to get Linux container? Okay, uh, in your laptop, I told you Docker sessions. I covered that one, last one. Now, how to get a Linux VM again? VM in AWS. I have not taught you pending. Pending. This is pending. So I'll teach you in AWS session. Okay. So ultimately, whether you are on laptop, the using VM. By the way, many of the folks directly install they don't install the Windows, they install directly Linux. That is also option is there. If you have a multiple laptop, maybe older also, go for the Linux directly, and you will have a better, a better, confidence in it. Let me tell you here, many people are focusing on the DevOps tool or SRE tool, but let me tell you, 70% based on my personal experience, because even I did the mistakes actually initially few years. 70% of the skill set which you required in a DevOps, SRE, build and release, or DevSecOps, or any domain is pure Linux. Okay? Linux is so vast. Linux is so vast. Like if you have a control over the Linux, you have a control over everything, almost everything. Okay, but unfortunately we'll have only one session means only 4 hour sessions on the Linux front, because we have to learn many other tools also. We have more than 20 tools to learn, so like that, but you have to take it seriously. One more thing, Linux is such a things like, see, I have got close to 19 years of experience and still I feel I'm not expert in Linux, because Linux is so vast. Okay, so you have to understand and you have to take it this topic seriously. Now next thing is, uh, what is kernel in the Linux? That's a very important question which we had. What is kernel? And I am assuming you know that because we had a session, dedicated session for it, so that should be not a concern. I'm sure all of you might have set up the lab environment for sure. So now with that, we have to learn Linux. So how to learn Linux? That is a question. What other things I have to do that? So based on my experience, I would divide Linux into few parts. One is kernel, which you know that very well. Okay, that is something which is theoretical topics. Nothing great in that, but for interview perspective, it's very important. Second thing is user command. It's all about command. Now many people are thinking, no, I want to get it done through the UI. Yes, Linux do offer UI, but don't try it out. Remember, you are here because you want to become a DevOps engineer or SRE or DevSecOps or SysOps or something like that, or Cloud Ops or something like that, not for UX and stuff like that. So users command, so there is a Linux users command which we need to complete, and then we have this one admin command. Admin commands basically is for the troubleshooting. Okay, uh, for doing the expertise and all kind of things. And now then we'll have a troubleshooting. That is very important topic. Linux troubleshooting, I would say. Linux troubleshooting. Okay, and then that's the most important thing, bash scripting. Okay, this is one important sessions. So this 3 or 4 sessions I will have it. uh, okay, and then I will give you many tasks also for you to practice it, and we can get going. Mind it, Linux is only saying only one thing: the more you practice me, I'll become easier. If you think only by listening or only by typing few commands you become a Linux expert, then you are mistaken. Okay, so this is something which we will have to go through now. Any questions so far? All of you? Okay. So now guys, let's go for Linux user command. Okay. So how do we start? So there are a hell lot of a hell lot of commands are there. Don't get lost because you don't need to remember everything. So there are how many commands I documented. I try to document it. How many commands typically in your one operating system you get it. So here it is. You will find in this notes approx 1229 minimal. I am saying minimal OS. You will have a commands. When I say command means what? Any idea what when I say command? Command means what? Anyone? Anyone? Hello.
It's a
So
set of
commands.
instructions to the
Huh.
OS.
So when you say in a Linux or a Windows, it's command. So basically, it's executable. Okay, executable, lying at certain place, certain location, certain path. That's all. Simple. Don't think too much. Okay. For example, let's say I'll go to Windows. Okay, and there is one command called this one mkdir, right? So I'll try to find out where is mkdir in Windows. I'm trying. It's a Windows command line. Okay, so this is not giving it, which will not work. Info could not find the files in the given pattern. Let's say where git system path might not get. Here it is. So git is located in this path. So git is a command. Okay, git is a command. You see, but this is located at this place. So in a Windows or Linux, wherever it is, it's a command is equal to executable lying at certain path. So some executables are core executables. Core executable means when you have Ubuntu, you will have it already in place. But some executable you can install from using yum command or apt command. Okay, so this is something you can get it done. Okay, so this is the command. So when I count it, and listed down all the Linux commands which is part of the core. I said core, okay, not installing separately. Then I in Ubuntu I found out 1229 these many commands. So don't get scared. You don't have to learn 1229 command. Even I don't know actually. Okay. So once I have a requirement for certain special commands, I will get it. So now you have a commands, and then you know what? In the each command you have at least a tens of parameter. Now what is a parameters? So tens of parameter means, let me show you in simple way. See, get is a one command, but do you think it has a no parameter? So look at this, enter. I press enter. See here, these are the sub commands, and inside that parameters will be there. So likewise, so you have a commands plus their parameters, minimum 10 parameters. Okay, so now how do we get started? So first thing, well, let's talk about the the story of shell. So guys, what is shell? Anyone would like to help me out here? What is shell?
Interpreter.
Mhm. Yes, interpreter. Yeah, right word. But what exactly the use of shell?
To communicate with OS using commands.
Yeah. So here, sorry, shell. So guys, see, you want to talk to Windows, you want to talk to Linux. So how do you talk to Windows, let's say? So you basically communicate through multiple input devices, but most important ways you communicate, and that is called console. Console is the one which you are seeing my screen. That's called console. Okay, it's a UI basically, console UI. So in Linux also you have UI, console UI. Windows also we have it. Without a console you don't work. So that's one of the way to communicate. In mobile also you have a communicate. You have a console. Okay. Now second, how to connect, communicate. communicate with hardware. So there's a one way you can console UI, you can use this. Now there is a one way you have to use commands. Okay, and when I say commands, then you need a shell. Shell is a category basically, so which will help you to connect and send the input to the kernel and get the output. So which are the shells we have? So when I talk about the shells in Linux, okay, there's so many shells we have. Can you please help me out to find out which are the shells which you know in Linux? Which are the shell?
Bash.
Ah, so we have so many shell actually. C shell we have. Okay, SSH shell we have, concsh shell we have, bash shell we have. In when Linux we have so many shell. So which one you are going to use it, guys? Blindly go for bash. We all are using, means everyone. Okay, everyone is using bash shell. Few people core they are using sh also, no problem. So go for bash. In Windows, can you please tell me, do we have a shell? Anyone?
Or bash. PowerShell. Yeah.
PowerShell we have, and then one more legacy one, CMD. This is the CMD, right? This is CMD I used, but we have a PowerShell also, right? You see here PowerShell Windows. Okay, so these are the shell. Okay, so now this is the bash shell, and which we need to focus on it. So now uh, here I would request you little bit of, see, every commands is not possible to cover, but I would request you to spend at least, I'll share the resources also here. Know your shell. Okay, that is a campaign. Let's start here. Bash. So the more you know about the bash shell, okay, certain differences you have between bash and sh. So the know better you know your bash shell, it will be very effective. For example, uh, what are the things you should know? So one of the important things you should know is like configurations, how to configure the bash shell. Okay, you might not need today when you are starting with Linux maybe, but once you become an expert, you want to customize everything. Okay, default configuration is there, but you want to customize everything. So in that case, configurations is needed actually, and in that case you need configuration detail. So that is something which you will like to do that. So now the question was how to communicate with the hardware. So we use a bash shell. In Linux we use a bash shell. Okay, so now what I want one machines of Linux to get started with it. So here I have so many machines on AWS. I'm using AWS for demo. Why? Because it will save my time. Because I don't want to drag, start, stop, all this thing. If you want to save your time, you can use AWS, but you have to pay for it. But if you want to learn, you can learn anywhere. The Linux in laptop is the same as Linux on AWS or Azure or Google Cloud. No difference. So let me get the IP address. I started the VM and I got this IP address. I forgot the password, but I think I'll be having keys. Let me try password. Let me try if I can. So username is Ubuntu. I know. Password most probably Rajesh123 should be. Yes, it works. Thanks. So now here you see just now I logged into one of my Linux VM, and this is what you will get it once you logged in to the putty. In fact, any client you use, no problem. So I am Ubuntu right now. I am Ubuntu. I am a normal user right now. So this is the normal user. So here now, guys, here some of the shell information which you want to know. So echo dollar shell here. bash. So by default it should bats, so you should use it. Now this part, what are the configuration you should look at it, I will provide you all this detail through the documents. Now next question is um, how to log in to Linux. Okay, this is a important question. Guys, understand this. Uh, I'll put it in an image way so you'll understand better. Okay, so first thing, how to log in Linux, or maybe how Linux login works. That is a question. Okay, that is important question. You need to understand. It will help you for troubleshooting. Okay, so here understand this. This is your Linux server, and this is my laptop. Okay, so this is my laptop and this is my Linux server. This server is lying somewhere, I don't care, it should be accessible, that's all. IP address should be pingable. Simple way, if I tell you ping means, you know that to check that IP address is accessible, whether it's running in your laptop or someone else laptop or AWS. I will tell you one more, I'll give you one more suggestion. If you have this kind of stuff, if you have a desktop lying in your home, maybe old one, because I'm having 4 5 desktop and I have done it nowadays, because I just want to I'm focused on more on saving time, so I don't do all this stuff. But if you're learning, it will help you a lot. So if you have a desktop or old laptop which you're not using, set up in your home, run the VMs inside that. So whole infrastructure you can create within your home itself. You don't have to go outside. For example, if you go for AWS, it will be charged unnecessarily. You'll lose the money for time being. Okay, so now this is my laptop and this is my Linux server. Okay, so first thing, how the question which I was trying to understand, how Linux login works, that this you need to understand. So one thing we got clear, like just few minutes before someone asked me what are the things you required. So here you required the client. Okay, client you required. Okay, so client you required, which client? So SSH client. Okay, SSH client. So I'll write SSH client you required. So guys, think simple. This is using SSH client. You send the packet over the network. Packet over network. Correct now, all of you? And network means IP address, right now? IP address. Agree with me? Correct now? Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now guys, don't you think if you have a client, there should be something called SSH server also in here? SSH server. Think simple. Don't get confused. Linux server is different. SSH server is different. Again, I repeat. Don't get confused. Linux server is different. SSH server is different. So here, this Linux server, when I say, that means this is the Linux server. But when I say SSH server, this is the one application which is acting like a server should be running here. Don't you think so? Because it's a client. SSH client should be having SSH server. Agree with me? So guys,
Yes.
yes, SSH server is running in your machine. Let me show you. ps-ef. Don't worry about the commands, because nowadays learning the commands is very easy. Even the chat GPT will tell you a lot of options, but understand the context. So I want to see the which SSH is running or not, because I'm coming. I am running this command. So see that is running here. This is called D. See, this is a server, and D for daemon. D for, whenever you see D, means running as a background. So now you understood that SSHD server should be running. If it is not running, then your machine will not be able to connect. Remember that. You are able to do putty. I'll put in a simple way. I'm able to do putty because this was running automatically by default in the Linux server. Got it?
Yes.
So some of the time if SSD is not running, so no matter how many times you try putty this that this command ping command, no use of it, because this guy is, see, so you send the client will send the packet to the server, and server will convert that packet to the kernel. Okay, that is what is happening. They'll send it and receive the output and send respond back to this. So now if someone will ask you, hey, how this Linux login works, so you should say the protocol protocol is SSH, and for this we need to have a client in my laptop where from where we are connecting, and SSD server should be running in the server where we are connecting to, and then we can do the call over that, send the commands and all. Are you comfortable, all of you?
Yep.
Okay, so that's back to this same question, how to log in Linux. So guys, because we know that we have to log in using SSH. So SSH has a multiple behavior. Okay, I'm not teaching you SSH alone, because you know SSH itself is a 1 or 2 days of topic. But because you don't want to learn, you don't need to learn right now SSH in much in depth. So whatever you need importance, just we are covering that one only. So here SSH, when you use to log in any Linux server, okay, then you have a username, okay, and then password, okay, and then you have username and keys also. Both options are available. Okay, both options are available. So then you will, someone said I have a password, but someone say I have a keys. Both option. Now you know what, whether it's a password enabled or key enabled, these all are configured in SSHD. Let me show you here. Vi, this is a configuration file for SSHD. This is the file. Okay, remember that whenever you do SSH troubleshooting, this is the configuration file and this is the service, you have it. Okay, so here you have modify everything. See, password authentication, it says yes. That's the reason I logged in using password. If I say no and restart this service, no, you cannot log in using password. Keys authentication, likewise, we have it. Okay, so keys and password you have to log in. Now, this I want you to understand, because this is a very important for you to become in SRE and DevOps. How is authentication, this is an assignment actually you have to know in background, how key authentications, SSH key authentications, SSH key authentications works in Linux. This you need to find out. Okay, and one more thing, how uh, how key authentication, how to set up passwordless authentication in Linux. These two questions I want you to a bit, just a second, and in between two Linux mesh server, two Linux server. These questions I'll send it to you all this thing later. You need to find it out for me. Okay, because you need it, I know. Okay, so now how to how to log in to Linux. So one is username and password, and username is key. Now this key has to be private key. Okay, private key. So that is something, username and private key. Now in AWS by default it support key, and in your machine which you install the VM, I think someone installed just now, that which we are using Ubuntu, it was supported key. Both you can enable, no problem. Okay, so that is something which we have. Now next topic is how to get more access. So theoretically, if I tell you, see, there is one keyword which you call it authentication. Okay, authentication means what? Authentication means how to log in. Okay, how to log in. So how to log in? What? I told you how to log into Linux machine using username and password or username and key. But there is one more keyword which we have popular, and that is called authorization. Anyone would like to help me in terms of authorization? Authorization. Hello. Hello. I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Okay, so authorization means what? So authorization means how to, I mean, what you are allowed to do. What you are allowed to do. See, login you can do that, but you are not allowed to do anything. What you are allowed to do. So let me tell you in a simple way. This is the user, okay? Ubuntu user. I've logged in just now in front of you, and I want to start the service. So there's one command called systemctl. Okay, don't worry about the command. You will learn all this command. Understand the problem. Systemctl sh restart sshd. This file, this service I want to restart. Okay, and see that what is the problem. They're saying, hey, authentication. You don't have a proper authentication, authorization, all this thing, blah blah blah. So you give the password for authentication. So Rajesh 123. I gave it. See, authentication complete, but nothing happened. This error message not complete. Basically, did not allow anything. I mean, restart did not happen. Others will say you, tell you the restart has happened. See here, authentication is required to restart SSH service. That means basically this should be this is authentication, but technically speaking, it should be authorization actually. Okay, so that's anyways will not comment on it. But authorization is missing. What to do to get authorized? How to get more authority? So you have a concept which is called, just again, what are the allowed to do? So we have a concept of in Linux normal user, types of user actually, types of user in Linux. Okay, so here we have a normal user. Okay, normal user, and then we have a you can say admin user. Okay, so normal user and admin user. So right now what I'm a normal user. In Windows also it's the same case, normal user, admin user. Okay, root user in Linux we call it root user. Okay, so types of user in Linux, so normal user and root user. So the question is, how do we get the root access? That is the question. How, that question is how to get, or how to get root access, or how to run command as a root. Let's say you don't have a password for root. What you will do? Because many times what happens, people don't share them, and admin will not share the password. But still there are certain commands you have to use a root account for it, more privileged account for it. So what you will do? That is a question. Okay, because this is a system applications, you cannot use as a Ubuntu. Certain application which you are owning, you can start the services, but system applications you cannot do that. So what do we do? So that is where there's one concept which has come, which is called sudo. Have you heard about this? I'm sure many of you have used it, sudo, knowingly, unknowingly.
Yes.
All of you? Yeah. So guys, this is the concept of sudo. I'm giving you just a point to point information. Now, if you think just knowing the sudo is will help you, no, I want you to become expert in this. So this is the assignment again. What is sudo? Okay. What know about the configuration of the sudo? Know about the configuration file of sudo. That is important question. And third questions I want you know how to add and add user and their access in sudo. This is the very expert, admin administrator level questions, but I want you to start figuring out how to add users and their sudo access in for sudo. Okay, so this is the questions. Keep it in mind. So now, how do we get a root access? Sudo. So now guys, sudo also, there is a multiple ways you can do that. Sudo without without password. Understand? Sudo without a password. What does that mean? So guys, I want to become a root. I want to gain a root access. What to or what add, but I don't have a password for root. So the solution is sudo. So sudo without a password means sudo hyphen sh enter. Oh, sorry. Sudo hyphen, what is this? Yeah, H option is not is there. Sudo hyphen, okay, see here. Again I'm showing you sudo hyphen s. See here. So I become a root without knowing the password of root. And you know that I did not have the password. So this is called sudo without a password. Without a password. But guys, sometime what will happen? The admin will set up, though you have a sudo access with a password. But sometime we'll have sudo with another user and password. That is also a very complex scenario. You won't find it, very rare, but still sudo with another user and another password, and so on. This is the stuff. Okay, so right now most of the time you will have this default setup, sudo without a password. But again, if you know this answer of this question, you can set up with a password, with another user of password, without a password, all these things you can access it. So are you comfortable for this sudo stuff, all of you?
Yes, clear.
Yeah. So now what I will do, I'll become a normal user, and without a root, can I restart the services? So let's go and run this command. And now I'm running sudo and then that one. Done. Started. Okay. So this is the way you can find out. You want to stop it? Let me check this. Let me show you the status. All these things using sudo you can do that. See here, off and start. See, running. Okay. So now guys, are you comfortable, all of you?
Yes, comfortable. One question. So when you start, when you are using the sudo, right, and you're starting and I mean, so generally whenever you start, it doesn't show any status of it, right, whether it is started or not. But only the way we can check is as you use that
There's a
command
command.
status.
If you
Yeah.
directly start the executable, then you will see the status, but through commands systemctl you won't see that out. Okay, so that is the thing. Now guys, I got into this, but you know what? There is a impersonation. We have impersonation. I am probably impersonate, CNate. Hope impersonate. Yeah, hope that spelling is not wrong. So what is impersonate? So impersonate means you are something else, but you are impersonating with certain different user. Okay. So right now, let's say I'm Ubuntu, but you are impersonating as a root or Rajesh or Rakesh or whatever it is. Okay. So this is called impersonation. How do we do that? So that you can do through su command. Okay, su command. Now I want all of you to this commands to practice. And now what are the options you have? It, I'll give it to you, don't worry about it. But let's say you want to impersonate, so I'm just trying to do that. So let me become a first root user. I'm adding Rajesh. Okay, and after Rajesh I am Rajesh, and then here I'm setting the password for Rajesh. Rajesh. Okay, I set it up. Now I'll become a normal user. Now, if I want to impersonate Rajesh, Su Rajesh, like that. Okay, and here password of Rajesh, and then you see. So right now, who am I? See Rajesh. So this call su you can use for impersonate any user actually. Okay. So there's a hell lot of combinations are there. Okay. So at a high level, I told you, but again, those combinations will be very specific. So you have to use that one also. Okay. So this also you have to do that. So these are the things which you covered so far. So first thing we covered like how to communicate with the hardware. So about the shell, then we discuss about the how it works, SSH client versus server. Then how to log in, authentication, authorization options for Linux. Okay, and then types of user, and then how to gain a root access, and then how to impersonate. Okay, now next question is I want you to get comfortable before anything else also, and that is called package manager. What is a package manager? Guys, let me ask you one question. How do you install package in Android? I think some of you must be having Android, or maybe some of you must be Apple guys also. So iPhone also you will be having. How do you install? Tell me.
Um, you can I mean basically you'll have APK or .type app files, right? So that you can
Do you
let's
really
say if
use
you're
APK? Yeah, your answer is right. APK you use it, but do you really use APK?
no, not directly. We use, let's say if you're a developer, you set up app files through your Xcode or something. But in general, to the regular users,
Yeah.
right? We Yeah,
How do you install the applications packages in iOS?
we set up on.
Okay, so I'll give you this answer. Probably you know that, but I'm probably got confused with the question. So typically, when you want to install any packages, guys, what do you do in Android? You go to the Play Store, simple, and then you install the packages. Simple. Install. What do you do? Install, remove, and update. Don't you do that all the stuff?
Right.
Install, remove, update. Agree with me, right?
Yeah.
Now in the Play Store, what we have? Yeah. So now, as someone answered already the question, you will have APK file, or what is this package for this one? What is it? iPhone Play Store. Even I don't know.
APK.
Just a second. Package extension for iPhone. What is this? So the this is the one, IPA. Okay, I'm just in quick reading, I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so IPA. So when you want to install any package in the Android or iPhone, you go to the Play Store, App Store, and then install the package. What you do, you simply say, hey, install, remove, update. Now guys, this is the same thing we can do in Linux also. Linux, I want to install or remove or update the package. So what we will do? So guys, mind it, these Play Store and App Stores act like a client. Server is somewhere hosted by Google or Apple. Mind it. So here, Linux, we need to have a client which will help me to download the packages and install it for me. So packages from where? Some location server hosted by community, like which Linux is community driven, right? So hosted by Ubuntu or Fedora, Debian or Red Hat or IBM or something like that. So, so how do we install the packages in Linux? So that is where you use apt for Ubuntu and yum for what? Apt for Ubuntu and yum for RHEL and CentOS.
CentOS.
Yes. So guys, now apt will have what packages? So apt will have a Debian packages, And yum will have what packages? Yum will have RPM packages. RPM, right? RPM. So what you'll do now next time when you want to install, so let's say git is there in this machine. So I will, no problem, I will uninstall it and then install it. So how do we install it? Yum remove git. Mind it, you have to become a sudo. So sudo. I uninstall the git. Simple. See, simple. I mean, you can install literally thousands of applications aligned available over there. So here you have uninstalled it. Now you want to install. See, before that, let me check. See, git is not there, but I want to install it now. So yum install git. Simple. So guys, in Linux and in Linux means Ubuntu or CentOS or Red Hat, any package you want to install, you can use apt or yum. So this is the package manager tools for you. Are you
So this
comfortable, all of you?
can you please repeat APT and M? What are they called as?
Package manager for Linux, for
Package.
any for Linux, package manager. Okay. So guys, now question time. In Windows, have you used any package manager? I just want to know that if how passionate you are from for technology side of it. So now let me tell you, Windows we have this call store, but this I'm not asking. Microsoft Store, Microsoft Store. But do we have anything else also? Now we have a Microsoft Store, but earlier. Anyone have used this tool called Chocolatey? Package. See this one, Chocolatey. This is spelling. So Chocolatey. See here, what it says, package manager for Windows. So install the client somewhere. You will download client here. Try it now, and you can install any packages whichever you want. See how many packages you have. You should be having numbers somewhere. Thousands of packages. Thousands. More than that actually. 10,000 maybe. Looking for packages. This is the home page actually. See here. I understand. Except see here. I think 10,000 packages. Anything you want to install in Windows, you should use Chocolatey. Okay, more options. Microsoft also has something called NuGet. Have you used this NuGet in Windows? This is if you're a Microsoft developers, new .NET developer, you will use this NuGet. See how many packages you have. Look at this. I think 68 lakhs, if I'm not wrong, right? Yeah, 68 lakhs. No, no, no. It's a version actually. Now, unique package is this one, 3391. Dot, dot, dot. Okay, so these are the package manager from where you install the packages. So next time when you want to install the packages, apt or yum, apt install or remove, yum install or remove. Now guys, assignment here. If you want to become expert, you have to know many things actually. It's not easy world actually. So now what is apt? I want you to find out top 10 commands of apt used in apt how to configure repo. What is repo in apt? That you need to find out for me. How to configure this. Mind it, you don't have to do anything as such. See, I did not configure, I did not do anything, I just install and remove. But if you want to become expert and troubleshooting guy, then you need to know all this thing, how to configure repo in apt. And that's all. Same thing with yum also, because many people will be using our RHL family. So same thing for yum also. Okay, so this is the story of package manager. Are you comfortable, all of you?
Yes.
All of you? Okay, now next thing is after the understanding the package manager, what should I do? So you understood how to log in, then you understood how to install the packages, and then something which I want you to practice it, and that is called uh, top 100 users commands in Linux. Now I want you to practice this one. Okay, so this is something which I want you to practice. Now from where you'll practice? So guys, Linux is one of the legacy software. Is there from last, before me starting this career also. It's there. So I don't think so you will find a problem locating the commands. The challenge what you will have, do you have a will and do you have a time? Okay. So any tutorials you will get it, find it, you will have it. I'm not saying you have to use only this tutorial, but a lot of tutorials are available in the on the internet. You can go for this. But right now, because I'm teaching you, I want to show you some of the important command, which probably if you read yourself, you spend 20 minutes. I can explain in 2 minutes because I feel that command required little bit of attention. So that I will cover. So now next topic what you will have is some of the commands, not 100 commands I'll be cover, but let's say 10 commands I'll cover, which I feel you need explanation for it. Rest of the command just to practice and get it done. Okay, so we'll get into these commands now. Before that, let's have one break. Grab your tea, coffee, restroom, and personal calls. And once you come back, then I will cover this one. Will that be okay for everyone?
Have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.